K52, the Saturday morning meeting. So let's have a conversation today. The market is changing. We're a year in close. So a year in close, you have the 2023 product that needs to move away and the 2024 product is starting to fill in and come out. Some manufacturers have brand new offerings that they've never offered before. Some manufacturers have completely retooled their vehicles. And the demand for the new cars out there right now are still high. Over the last 3 years, 2021 and 22, 10 million produced cars were not made. COVID, the shutdown for parts, they just weren't manufactured. So there's a deficit of new cars that have been out there, and there's a giant new car demand. Interest rates have slowed the market down. People like to wait when the rates go up and see if the rates are going to come back down. Eventually, if the rates don't come down, they'll accept the rates and the market will start to roll again. Don't know when that's going to happen. That's why we're having this conversation. I want to move the conversation to politics. In most instances, if you vote in an election, no matter whether it's a local election or a national election, you don't really know the person that you're voting for on a personal basis. You didn't go to school with them. You didn't hang out with them. You didn't play golf with them. You haven't had a meal with them. And some people vote straight down party lines, and that's fine. And some people vote because of name recognition. There's stickers in the yards. There's bumper stickers. There's commercials. Multiple billions of dollars are spent to get somebody in a position as a local politician all the way up to a representative or a senator or even president. And it's interesting how people process. They vote for an idea or they vote for the way maybe their group votes. But most of the time you don't know the politician. When the politician gets in office, they owe people. I mean, nobody's making that up. They owe people. People have spent their money and put their power behind them and got them their position. And so in some cases, they vote in a way that you didn't want them to vote. Everybody has an opinion. If you don't have an opinion, watch the news channel and they'll try to give you their opinion. It doesn't matter what news channel you watch, they'll try to give you your opinion. But politicians work tirelessly to shake hands, to kiss babies, to get name and face recognition out there, to have one policy that somebody will grab onto. Funny thing about that is, in the sales industry, there are some people that are on top of their game, and I call them the politicians. They don't sell cars. They don't have a system of selling process. They sell themselves. Jerry Sabanda, Cheryl Tillman, Mikhail Malone, Robert Hall, Jonathan Murphy that I just talked about this week, and I remember Jonathan, Keith Starnes. Just a moment to talk about Keith. I met Keith many years ago, and not a traditional salesperson. If you know him, you know that to be a fact. People would shop all over town, and somehow, luckily, they showed up at a dealership, and they were met by Keith. Immediately, they knew this guy knew what he was doing. They knew that they could buy the rest of their cars for the rest of their life from this man because he was a genuine person, and they got that read immediately. So when you're looking at selling any kind of product, let's say selling cars, you can sell the car. They have a blind spot monitor. They have a dynamic radar cruise control. The cars are safer than ever before. Manufacturers are getting better at what they do. There are still some that are on the top of the game, and unfortunately there's still some for long-term dependability that are on the bottom. But the good news for these manufacturers is people don't do their research. What people are researching now is price and availability. Price and availability. We went through a 3-year period of time where all they wanted was a car. I guess maybe the public thought there wasn't going to be any more cars and they better buy a car now no matter what the price was, and they got into a panic buying mode. And now the inventories are starting to build back up. Now the manufacturers are starting to buy the customer's loyalty with a $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 rebate, 0% interest, free equipment on the vehicle. If you buy an all-wheel drive vehicle, get step boards, whatever. And it's something we've been through before. But the most important thing to sell is you. So have the mind of a politician. When you go to work every day, take the first hour of every day and walk through the people that you've actually sold a car to. Let's say Mr. Smith. That would be a perfect name. What is Mr. Smith's influence? Does he own a business? Is he a VP at some business? Does he work on a union line? Is Mr. Smith a school teacher? What is their realm of influence? I've said this in the last couple of sessions, but I don't know how many times I have to say something until somebody really hears me. But you go back to your doctor because the doctor hasn't failed you. Maybe you had the flu and they gave you a shot or some pills, and 2 weeks later the flu was gone. And I'm thinking, wouldn't the flu have been gone in 2 weeks anyway? I don't know. I'm not a doctor. You go to a plumber and they charge you, money to show up. They charge you money before they even get there, whether they fix your problem or not. But if they take care of you and you are comfortable, the next time you need a plumber, you call that plumber. The same thing with a lawyer, the same thing with the bank you bank in. And oh my gosh, in football, Susan, we're dead in the middle of college football, and people get in fights in stadium because there's somebody from another team. What are you doing? It's a game. In professionals, even worse. In soccer around the world, they'll have a scrum in the entire stadium where people try to beat each other up because they said something negative about a team that doesn't care anything about you at all. Isn't that interesting? Isn't it interesting the way people are? Well, if you make your living representing yourself, and I realize if you're in the car business, you work for a dealership and you work under the guidance of managers, and there is a philosophy or a system in the dealership. But when it all comes back to the beginning, when it all comes back to the start, the consumer has to be comfortable enough with you to finish the transaction. So in each and every day, follow your client base. Work within your referral and base network. If they have children and they're going to turn 16 in 2 years, be the person that sells them their first car. You spend way too much time trying to go out there and grab air, standing outside hoping somebody comes in, being distracted every time the front door opens up. If you work your base every single hour, think about this, and I'm going to do this math again. It's stupid math. I've done it a million times. But 20 cars a month over 5 years means you sold 1,200 cars. 1,200 cars. How dare that customer ever go to another salesperson? I mean, seriously. I sold you a $60,000 vehicle. I did everything you asked me to do. I was there when you showed up. I set an appointment. I worked extra hours to take care of you. The car was clean. The car was full of gas. And if you called me, I answered your calls and answered your questions. And I'm still available for you right now. How dare you go to somebody else? But the biggest problem we have in the entire sales industry is you don't tell somebody what your expectations are. When you deliver a product to somebody, you need to look at them and go, okay, that's it. I am now your car person. When you need a car, when you need something for your car, or you have a question about your car, truck, van, sport, utility, then you call me, because now for life, I am that person. I've got managers out there that have gone into from sales to management, and they give their customers away to the salespeople because the customers are so loyal to them, they'll always come back. I have people that call me on the phone from all over the country asking me to help them with a car deal. They don't need any help if they have you. Be a politician. Everybody needs to know who you are and what you do, and increase your livelihood and increase your great time at work. Work should be a pleasure, but work is not number one. You work so you can enjoy your life. The better your work results are, the bigger your life is. PK52, the Saturday morning meeting. Thanks for the conversation.